1 million cups. It happens nearly every Wednesday here at Thinker Ventures, where we listen to an entrepreneur, a small business owner, or another interesting person talk about the neat thing they have going on in this area. Today we have 3 steps to complete healing from Dr. Elisha Robinson. We're excited about that. But first, let's talk about some announcements. We have Iger Lab's Fast Pitch competition coming up on October 9th. I believe that the deadline for entry on that is September 25th. If you're not familiar with Iger Lab's Fast Pitch competition, if you have a cool business idea and you want to present it in front of judges and have a chance to win $5,000, you should present at Fast Pitch. You can go to igerlab.org for more information. If you have an event that you would like to get out in front of this live studio audience and America, we have the Catchbox courtesy of the city of Rockford. You're welcome to grab this Catchbox and speak into it and get your event out in front of the community. Anybody have an event? Anyone? Yes? All right, let's talk about it. Don't be shy. You have to talk into the Catchbox, even if you're thinking it through.
Saturday the 25th or 26th, I can't remember what day it is.
It's okay, you just tell us what you know. We'll figure out the details. This is a smart group of people.
Okay.
It's like an IQ test. If you tell somebody, it's the 25th or the 26th, and they can't figure it out, they shouldn't be there.
Okay, so Red Ribbon, it's a community event at Boylan High School from 11 to 2:30 on Saturday, the last Saturday in October, and it's promoting drug-free activities. If you'd like a booth, we do accept booths, and it's free, and it's a big community thing for all the children in the surrounding area.
Awesome, excellent, thank you. Anybody else with a event that you want to get out in front of the world now at this moment? All right. If something comes to mind later, we'll grab the Catchbox. Now, here's how this is going to roll. 1 million cups is designed to give support and also awareness for entrepreneurs and their great ideas. And so we're going to have Dr. Elisha Robinson come in just a moment. She's going to take 6 to 10 minutes or so and talk to us about what she's doing here. And then we're going to ask 3 different questions. And these 3 questions are going to be, we're going to invite you to tell us what you heard. And that's going to give some, I think, positive feedback to our presenter. Those 3 questions are, what's the product or service, who's the target audience, and what's amazing about the management team? And then, after you've had an opportunity to tell us what you heard, then we'll ask the 4th and final question, which is, how can we help you out? And that will be her opportunity to open up, and then it'll be a kind of a communal sharing, and we'll all make each other better. All righty? We do want to give a shout out to, what's that? Who? Let's change the picture. All right. Coffee sponsor today is Members Alliance Credit Union. Diane James is usually here, but if you don't know Diane James, get connected up with her. Members Alliance Credit Union has sponsored your coffee for today. And without further ado, Dr. Elisha Robinson, welcome her to 1 Million Cups.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let's get some energy going. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you for allowing me to be here to speak about what I do and what I have to offer at my practice, Integrative Healing Center. So let's go ahead and get going. Page up. I'm going to need some help because it's kind of giving me something different here. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I am from a humble girl from Gary, Indiana. I grew up with 8 brothers and sisters, and we basically had a garden in the inner city. My dad is from the South. He and my mom were sharecroppers. So growing up, we did a lot of natural medicine. My father really didn't believe in doctors. He didn't trust doctors, but he was a self-taught herbalist. So growing up and going to medical school, my father would always say to me, what do you know about nutrition? What do they teach you about nutrition? What do they teach you about healing the body? And I basically couldn't answer that question. $300,000 later, I'm still feeling like I didn't get a full education in medical school residency, and which I did a general surgery residency, and also went back to school to do a fellowship. So while working at one of the hospitals, I worked with breast cancer patients, and I noticed a trend. They were coming back with the disease again and again and again. The same women, after we've done chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery, they're still coming back. So I said to myself, what can I do to really, truly help these people? And so I went back to school myself to get my PhD in natural health and holistic nutrition. So that's what I do in my practice. I have a practice called Integrative Healing Center where we treat the whole patient. I don't treat a particular disease. I treat the whole patient and try to teach them on how to reverse their disease. Why is this important to you? Well, it's important to you because you're business owners. You guys do a lot every day. You give of yourself. You give up of your time at your business and also in your home. So it's important for us to make sure we're taking care of our bodies. So this is a subject that I'm very, very passionate about. So what is natural healing? So the body is naturally designed to heal itself. You don't have to do anything. We've had cuts on our bodies before, and those cuts, if they're clean, within 24 hours, they're sealed, and within 48 hours, they're healed. That's because God put in the body what it needs to heal itself. So that's very important that we maintain that. So what's the disease, the definition of disease? It's a disorder of structure or function in a human, animal, or plant, especially one that produces specific signs or symptoms or that affects a specific location and is not simply a direct result of physical injury. But to further put it, my definition of disease is an unnatural disruption of natural processes of the body from an either internal or an external source. So anything that disrupts the natural process of the body causes a disease. So what exactly is the natural process? If we can really, really focus on what the natural processes are and understand fully what the natural processes are, then we'll be able to identify how we can implement ways to counter out disease. And this isn't something that's new. If you go on YouTube, you see thousands and hundreds of videos on natural medicine. There's ways, many schools where you can become what they call a lifestyle coach or a health coach, because this is $1 million industry where people are coming out of conventional medicine and they're wanting to take on a more holistic approach. So what are the natural processes of the body? First, the brain and the mind. The brain is the organ, so it's the physical structure, and the mind is actually the process that enables them to be aware of the world and their experience. We've all heard of I think, therefore I am. Growing up, we may have done daily affirmations, or we've spoken things over our lives, over our children's lives, or said things to ourselves to help us accomplish what we need to accomplish, even as business owners. So it's very, very important to understand that the mind is a very, very strong process, and it's connected with many, many networks, neuronal networks, chemical networks, electrical networks throughout the entire body. So everything you do starts with a subconscious or conscious thought, which triggers the brain, which is the physical structure, to activate neuronal networks. For instance, I see food. I think a conscious thought of desire within my mind. This triggers particular areas in the brain, physical areas in the brains, which subsequently send electrical, chemical signals to the body. And then when you see food, then what happens? You salivate. You start getting hungry. And then what happens is your stomach contraction, you get those hunger pains, and then the digestive juices release. Other examples are sex. You see a person you desire, and then what goes on from there, then natural chemical structures in the body triggers that. So that's very important to understand. Let's keep going. So what are other natural processes in the body? Nutrition, absorption, assimilation, self-cleansing, detoxification, autophagy. Autophagy is actually the word. And basically, that's the cleansing system of the body. It's kind of like the recycling system of the body. You have the elimination processes, the skin and the gut, which are the two largest elimination organs in the body. then you have regeneration and renewal. And it's actually a cycle. They're all connected amongst each other. And if you get any degradation or any breakdown in any one of these structures, you see what? Disease. So that's why it's important as we're trying to heal ourselves, we're trying to heal our family, our friends, as we're working with our coworkers. It's important for us to understand each process and where it pertains to how we heal. So 3 steps. There's basically 3 steps that I like to use whenever I have a new patient or I'm dealing with people who come to me for instructions or advice. The first thing I say is faith. The second step is you have to free your gut and feed your gut. And then the last step is fasting, and they're all interconnected. For me, the most important step that I truly believe is the mind process. Remember, you can think yourself into anything. You can think yourself into doing anything. And remember, everything starts with a thought, okay? We are body, we're soul, and we're spirit. And again, we go back to the saying, I think, therefore I am. You are what you think, you are what you believe, you are what you speak into existence. There's a scripture that I really love. It says, the power of life and death is in the tongue. When I see patients and they come in to me, I say to them, okay, first of all, you don't have diabetes. You don't have pancreatic cancer. You don't have what the doctor said you have. What you have is healing. So you have to continue to say that, because remember, what we think and what we say activates chemical messages and activate things in the spirit world that subsequently causes a cascade of events. I personally had a very, very, very strong example of this. 2 years ago, we were involved in a car accident. My daughter, Jewel, was in a coma. And the first night in the hospital, the doctor said she wouldn't live. So guess what happened? My family gathered around her, started praying life into her, and she lived. And then they started to say, oh, she would never get out of the coma. And then we continued to speak life into her. You're going to live. You're going to get out of this coma. And that activated things in the spirit realm as she got out of the coma within a week and a half. And then the next thing was they kept saying to her, you're going to be disabled. You're going to be a vegetable. She's not a vegetable. She's in school. She eats normally, and she's continually healing. And every day I continue to speak life over her because that's how strong the mind is. Remember, you can talk yourself into and out of any disease. I have several examples where I have patients who have stage 4 cancer when they first come in. And for some reason, those patients who have stage 4 cancer and they're constantly affirming who they are and they're saying, I'm going to heal, and they're taking the proper steps, they are actually doing better than people who have stage 1 breast cancer or different cancers who are not healthy mentally. They're depressed. And we have a lot of research and studies that show that when you are mentally depressed or when you're going through a disease process, that you don't fare well as other people who are healing. Okay? So daily affirmations are what you want to see happen in your job, in your careers, in your businesses. Today, I want 10 people to walk through that door. Today, I want to make these connections. Even I have a check on my refrigerator that I wrote to myself. That's $1 million because I'm looking to make $1 million. I'm going to keep speaking that. When I catch that $1 million check, I'm going to come to you guys and let you guys know. So daily visualization of seeing yourself being healed. I'm spending a lot of time on this topic because that's the most important topic that you can do to start the healing process. So the second step is you have to free your gut and you have to feed your gut. Because our society has moved from what God has created us to do as far as what our bodies, we initially were supposed to be what? Vegetarians. We're supposed to be eating fruits and vegetables. But now we're eating so much junk in our society. Everywhere you go, it's toxins in the environment, it's toxins in the culture. So you have to free your gut, meaning you have to stop all offending agents. So the best diet to eat is actually a vegetarian diet that is free of genetically modified organisms and as well as that is organic. Okay, that's the best diet. And patients come in, they try to bargain with me. Well, can I have a little bit of meat? No. Can I have some sugar? No. If you want to heal, and you want to heal properly, you have to, if you already have a disease, you're already in the deficit. So you have to, in order to overcome that disease, you have to stop all offending agents. And then you have to feed your gut. So you have to give your gut back what it needs. Proper nutrition, lots and lots of vitamins and minerals, okay? So we have to understand that the gut is the second brain of the body. The brain is the first brain of the body. The gut is the second brain. We call it the second brain because you have a lot of neuronal networks, a lot of nerves. Kind of think about this. Before this presentation, I was a little nervous. So I'm nervous. My mind is telling me I'm nervous. People are going to come. They're going to be critiquing what I'm saying, what I do in my presentation. So my gut was kind of, discombobulated. You get that feeling because there's a connection, okay? So, and also you have to understand that the gut is the biggest immune system. Not the blood cells that you see. The gut is the largest immune system in the body. So if your gut is not whole and not healthy, what you eat, what you put in your body is going to bypass your immune system. And remember, the immune system is the sentinel of the body. It's the police station, okay? And it's the gateway into your body. And outside the skin, it's the second largest absorption organ. So within 30 seconds of putting things on your skin, so ladies, men, we have to watch what we put on our skin, what we put on our hair, and what we also put in our intestines, because within 30 seconds of us eating or putting things on our skin, it's in our bloodstream. So that's very important to understand. The last step and the most important step, and what I'm seeing a lot of in the news and media, is fasting. University of Southern California just came out with a study that they've done where they did 3-day fasting, 72-hour fasting. And in that study, they saw in rats and it's also in humans, they saw that stem cells, we all know stem cells are the basic cells of our body that regenerates everything, a part of our body. Stem cells grow into hair, it grows into nails, it grows into skin, it grows into organs. And so they saw from this, just fasting for 3 days, no food, just for 3 days, they saw a total regeneration of the immune system and regeneration of stem cells. So I tell patients that when you are ready to really fully heal and get rid of conventional medicine, get rid of and unload and put to bed and bury all those medications that you have, it's important that you take steps in fasting because it speeds up the healing process. It allows for your body to fully engage in autophagy. And autophagy, I want you guys to really understand what that term means because a lot of people don't understand that term. Auto means self, phagy means eat. So basically, your cells, when your cells die, your body redigests and reuses the energy from that cellular death to regenerate new cells. So basically, it's the recycling center of the body, and we're learning a lot more about it. And when you fast, that autophagy process is maximized. It must be done on a prolonged basis to fully reverse disease. Okay? It speeds up detoxification. Detoxification is basically get rid of toxins in our body. It optimizes elimination. It optimizes regeneration of tissues. It resets your organs in natural function. Remember, disease is when those natural functions are interrupted. It optimizes your immune system, it restores natural function, and it stimulates stem cells. So just to quickly, and you guys can ask me questions later if you want to come up to me later, what I do in my practice is I tell people about intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting and kind of teach them about it. I'm on a 9-day water fast myself. And it was tough initially, but I'm no stranger to fasting. But I'm able to mentally think better. I have lots and lots of energy, and the waste is coming off because the body is able to break down the dead cells and toxins naturally and more quickly than it can. So intermittent fasting is basically where you just do, you stop eating within a 24 period time. For instance, some patients may do what we call the 18-6 rule, where they won't eat for 18 hours, and then for 6 hours they eat. But the meal that they're eating is more of a high-fat, low-carb, low-protein, because it mimics fasting. okay? Kind of like a ketogenic diet. Water fasting is basically you don't have any food, but you just drink water. And dry fasting is when you have no food or water, okay? And there's soft and hard dry fasting. I've spent 2 days personally doing dry fasting, and it detoxed me so bad that I had to stop. It was just too many toxins coming out too quickly, and I was actually getting really, really sick. So I've had experience with all of them. My patients have had experience all of them, and they're seeing a lot of miraculous results where diabetes are being reversed, cancers are being reversed. Why? Because cancer is when you have these cells that are naturally supposed to be destroyed. Okay? Remember we talked about breakdown of cellular products, and the body's not able to either break them down well enough or get rid of them or get rid of the toxins. And so with fasting, with healing your gut and freeing your gut, you're allowing your body to fully heal. Okay? So after you do steps 1, 2, 3, you repeat until you get the results you want. So I have cancer patients who may say, okay, they do the fasting, and then I put them on my detox program. I have a 7-week detox program. And then they say, okay, my cancer is still there. It's smaller. I feel a lot better. I've lost weight. I feel great. If you walk in my clinic, and these ladies can tell you, none of my patients look like they have cancer. They don't at all. Because we're rebuilding the system and allowing the body to naturally get rid of the cancer cells. And then we say, okay, we're not done. So you have to continue to repeat until we get the outcome that we're looking for. Okay? And that's it.
Awesome. Let's give her a hand for her presentation. That's pretty inspiring stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Challenging, I think, for a lot of people. I think they don't quite understand everything that's involved.
Yeah.
And
but it's simple, though.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah.
Just stop eating.
It's simple to talk about. It's simple. It's not simple to do. It's
No,
hard, hard to do.
Let
in
me
your
stop
brain.
you there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, tell me.
Because I own my own practice. My daughter is on a ventilator. She's quadriplegic. I have a 2-year-old. I take my daughter to school where I have to be her nurse because I don't have a nurse. So I do it all by myself, 24/7, and I'm on a 9-day water fast. It's the mind.
Totally.
Once you get your mind to say, this is what I'm going to do, you will do it. That's why that's the most important step. If you say to yourself, I'm sick and tired of living the way I'm living, sick and tired of paying all this money to doctors, once you get your mind right, then the rest of the steps will be easy.
That's totally true. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. That's true. So Napoleon Hill wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich way back in, the 20s, I think, something like that. And one of the principles behind that is that you set an intention in front of you, and then you focus on that intention.
Right. And
the universe has a way of molding itself around your intention and becoming true. So I agree with you. I think there's a lot of principles in that. It's a new level of research, I think, that people are coming out with. So this is your opportunity to hear some feedback, right? So the first 3 questions are what you heard about this presentation, what in your own words. So the first question is, what is the product or service? What did you hear? Just speak up. And there's no rules here. Just speak up, and I'll repeat it for the camera. Healing? All right, healing, yeah. Natural healing, yes. Other thoughts? What came to your mind?
3-step process.
Yep, 3-step process. All right, yes.
Healing for those who are not served by conventional medicine.
Healing for those who are not served by conventional medicine. Does that sound pretty accurate? All right, excellent. Now, the second question is, who's the target audience? Everybody? Yeah. Absolutely. Probably. Is there anybody who's not your target audience?
No. I have children, all ages, my office.
Awesome. And 3 is, what's amazing about the management team? What did you hear? What's amazing about Elisha? What's that?
She's very passionate.
Very passionate. Yes, absolutely. What else?
Practices what she
Practices what she teaches. That's true. From what we know. I'm just kidding. What else did you hear is amazing about the management team? Very knowledgeable. Absolutely. A lot of information. One thing I heard, which you didn't say it as part of your presentation, but you said it kind of as I was standing up here, you talked to me a little bit about your life and all the things that you got going on. And there's a level of persistence, I think, to that, and a commitment to what it is that you're teaching. And that's uncommon. A lot of people talk about doing stuff and they never get it done because they're just not committed to the cause. I think that's unique.
Thank you.
The fourth and final question is for you. How can we help you, or where are you stuck?
You can help me by getting the word out about my office, even though I am booked. But you can help me by getting the word out, and you can also help me by getting the word out to allow you to help other people heal. So what you've taken from this presentation, take it home, take it to your family, take it to the people you love, and help them heal. I want to say one other thing.
Yeah, please. And then we'll open up for
As part of the
Q&A,
management
questions and
team,
answers. Yeah.
I want Rhonda Torreson and Roseanne Ottman to stand up. Remember, we talked about mind, body, and spirit. I work with these ladies. And so Rhonda, stand up, Rhonda. She does the gastrointestinal, the gut part.
Yeah, I remember that presentation. That was a great job. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I refer patients to her all the time, so she's also in my office. So if you guys are interested in seeing the gut specialist, she's a gut specialist. And the mind aspect, Roseanne Ottman, she's a psychologist.
Nice. Glad to have you
So
here.
she does the mental healing. So we are a team, and so we practice what we preach.
Yeah, and it is all interconnected, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we've got just a couple minutes for questions and answers. If you've got a question that we can share an answer for, we're going to take the catch box courtesy of the city of Rockford. We'll throw it to you. Those are the rules. You must catch it. Well, you don't have to. You could throw it on the floor and be embarrassed. Or you could pick it up, and then you could just talk into it just like this with your question. Way in the back.
So when I'm hearing you talk, you must have a real difficult time with convincing people to buy into something. Like when you talked about your family got around the bed and brought religion or whatever spiritual feeling you have, that already turns a switch for some people, because not everybody walks down that path.
Right.
And yet, for me, what I loved is that in the U.S., for some reason in the U.S., we just don't quite get it. And in India and China and Japan and Denmark and everywhere else in the world, Canada, they have all kinds of things that are being done constantly that you're talking about. Fasting has been around for, forever. And it works.
Right.
And I've seen it firsthand work, and so I'm going to tie off with a story. My friend's son was going through quite an episode of leukemia. Basically, he's going to die, and it was just, and so they started everything with doctors, chemotherapy and radiation, everything you could do, possibly known. Sold his business, put every dollar that he had in his kid, went bankrupt. And his friend comes in from India, and he said, you know what, I'm going to make some calls. We're going to get a group of people here. And he watched something that he still has a hard time explaining, and there was a heat development that they did with this chant. And his son's temperature went up beyond what the doctors were saying was safe. And they're like, no, we're doing naturally what your medicine, what you're claiming your medicine's doing, but we're not killing the rest of him. We're just killing the part that's killing him. And he watched something that he still has a hard time explaining, and yet it's changed his life and the way he thinks about things.
Right.
So I just want to commend you and keep going down that process, and just wake up some people that are really driven with our backgrounds of doctors. Nothing wrong with them, and I feel very confident that a lot of them really care enough to get involved and help people. but I think you got to use your own head too.
Right.
And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yep. What's your name?
Chad.
Chad, thank you for the feedback. And just to kind of quickly touch on just one or two things that you said, I don't have a hard time in my practice because the people usually come to me are people who are already fed up, because I'm a private practice and I'm not controlled by a system, so I can do what I want and I can say what I want. And every person that leave my office, starting and ending, they end with the prayer. And some people be surprised because our society is so scared of spirituality, but in my office we're free. So we do a lot of that, praying for people and then also doing the physical aspect of it. And what he actually saw was with the heating is actually a physical thing as well. When you get sick, what happens? Your temperature goes up. And when my kids get a fever, and I tell people, do not get rid of a fever, because a fever is the body's natural way of killing off bad cells in the body, cancer cells. I recently went to a hyperbaric conference in California a few months ago, and one of the things, there's a woman who had stage 4 triple negative breast cancer, which is the worst breast cancer you can have. And every conventional medicine says you can't get rid of it without chemo. So the way they got rid of it was they heated her body temperature up to significantly high unnormal levels in order to kill the cancer cells. And then they fed her body with nutrition and oxygen. She got in a hyperbaric chamber. So basically, you're just using God's natural medicine, which is oxygen, which is food, which is the heating process like we talked about, the regeneration, to naturally heal. And they healed her breast cancer in 2 months with just those 3 processes without chemo. Stage 4. Yeah, so it can happen.
Other questions, things you want to share? We got the catch box. We'll throw it to you if you'd like to ask a question. All right, there you go.
Sure, I'm going to print something.
There we go. Boom. Good catch.
Doctor, what's the line for you as a trained medical professional that has began to advance practices that aren't perceived as conventional? You know, how much medicine do you keep and how much do you throw away when you advance your style of healing?
That's a good question. That's a loaded question because each person is individual.
Okay.
So I can't say. I mean, I focus on the mind, body, and spirit first. And if we can't get things done, because I can only work with what you give me.
Yeah.
So if you're not willing to give up meat, if you're not willing to give up, I can't, there's only so much I can go. And I can say, well, I've gone so far with what you've given me, well, let's stay on your blood pressure medication so you won't stroke.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? I do both.
Yeah.
And I actually let the patients guide me. I tell them, I said, at the end of the day, I said, what do you want me to do? Because I will assist you and help you with what you want me to do.
So I think I'm thinking of it like this, that there's probably no amount of medicine that's really going to counteract your desire and your will. So,
Right.
so let's say you do have diabetes. There are ways of not having certain types of diabetes.
Right.
Right? For instance, clean up your diet.
Right.
Right? But you could, if you're unwilling to clean up your diet, there's no amount of taking insulin and all this other stuff that's
Right.
actually going to fix you.
Right.
You're absolutely unwilling to do it.
It's a Band-Aid.
So I think, like you're talking about, it begins with your mind.
Right.
Are you setting the intention? Are you making the decision? Right. And then are you willing to follow that up with feeding your body the way your body's designed to function?
Right.
And then that's going to set you up. So sometimes you need medicine.
Right.
It's the way it is, right? And sometimes you might need an operation. That's the way it is. But you're gonna set yourself up
Right.
even better. There was a lady, girl here. I can't remember her name. She did CrossFit. She's a young girl, 10, 11 years old, something like that. She did CrossFit, so she was working out real hard, right? She ended up with cancer. Ended up with an amputation, right? And during her process of treating that cancer, and they treated it in some normal fashions, the doctor said you would have died, but you had set yourself up. You've been eating well, you've been working out, your body was primed and ready for
Right.
healing. And anybody else in your situation statistically
Yeah.
would be dead because their body was not prepared to
Right.
take it the rest of the way and heal from that. And even now, she's taken that mental energy, and she's a gymnast
Yeah, awesome.
with an
With an
amputation
amputation. She's a gymnast.
because she wants to be.
I tell Juliet all the time, before the accident, she's paralyzed now, but she's being healed because she has sensation. She didn't have
Yeah.
sensation before, so she has sensation all over. And I tell her every day she's going to go, she was a gymnast. She went to GAR and she was on the team. I tell her all the time she's going to go back to track. She's going to go back, and she believes that. And I believe she's going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a great video. We're almost out of time, so we'll close with this. There's a great video I want to send to you. If anybody wants a copy of this video, I just send her an email. I'm going to send it to her, and then she's going to send it to you. This isn't the pitch to start spamming you. But I came across this. I just want to get it out there. So let down the wall. It's fine. Send her an email. She's going to send you this great video of a guy who has a very, very inspiring story. If you're not crying by the end of it, you are a rock. About a guy who believed against all odds, and how he came back from devastating injury in ways the doctors said, you will not come back. Give up hope. Right? So I want to give that to you, but I want you to contact her first. All right? Anything else you want to get in front of us before we close this up?
No. If you guys are interested in allowing me to help you and partner with you, I am at 4873 Manhattan, and I have these beautiful ladies to help me.
All righty. Well, thanks for joining us for 1 Million Cups. This has been an inspiring time. If you got any questions, if you're a skeptic, we invite you to reason these things out. That's totally cool, right? Come up and talk with Dr. Elisha Robinson. Also, thanks for the coffee, courtesy of Members Alliance Credit Union. This is your opportunity to go have an inspired day and believe good things for each other and with each other. Have a wonderful day.